If you could leave one thing from our time as a legacy for the distant future, what would it be? My name is Francisco, and I'm carving the Bible into granite, word by word, letter by letter. When I started this project, I shared the idea with some people, and most of them thought that it was a whim or possibly that I was a little bit nutty. They didn't say so because they were being polite, but I could sort of tell in their eyes. And you know what? There's some truth to what they were thinking. This is an enormous project. The Bible has more than 30,000 verses and almost 780,000 words in English. And I'm not carving it in English alone, I'm also carving it into the original language side by side. So that would be Hebrew for the Hebrew scriptures and Greek for the New Testament. So yeah, this is an enormous task and maybe just a little bit crazy. And that's probably why I haven't come across anyone who's carved the Bible into stone before. Yes, there's some monuments with some verses, there's tablets with some passages, but the whole Bible, word for word? No. So why am I doing this? There are two answers. The first one is practical. The way that we store data these days is incredibly fragile. Most of what we save is digital, and digital storage is shockingly short-lived. Then there's paper, the material of choice for most Bibles. It will last maybe a few hundred years if it's well preserved, and it's still susceptible to fire, to water, to just time. So this is where granite comes in. When I say I'm carving the Bible, I mean I'm literally engraving it into slabs of black granite. It's one of the hardest, most durable stones on earth. It's very resistant to weathering, doesn't erode easily, and if protected, it can last thousands of years, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years. The downside, unfortunately, is that granite is hard to work with. The carving itself requires diamond tip bits and a special tool that can handle granite's hardness and irregularity without wearing out too quickly. It also means that what I'm making could outlast everything from our time. It could easily outlast Western civilization. Not long ago, I saw a documentary on the Assyrians. For a while, they were at the peak of civilization in the Fertile Crescent. They considered themselves blessed by their gods and in control of their future. But now, close to 3,000 years later, we have almost nothing from them. And most of what we have is either in stone or in clay. They did not survive the erosion of time. And the same thing could happen to us. It probably will. The sands of time could simply wear away the memory of who we are. Or the whole process could easily happen much faster. Imagine our civilization facing a cataclysmic, destructive event, something that wipes out most of what we know. It could be anything. A global nuclear war, a large meteor strike on Earth, some kind of rogue technology that we haven't imagined. AI could change the way our civilization functions. There might be some uncontrollable virus. Now, I'm not going to call it the zombie apocalypse, but you know what I'm saying. Man-made or natural, these kinds of events could throw us back into the Bronze Age or even the Stone Age, and it would take humanity thousands of years to crawl its way back out. And if that's the case, what would a future civilization made up of our descendants have to remember us by, to understand who we were? If everything is stored digitally or on paper, they'd have almost nothing. Most books, including Bibles, would simply vanish. But something etched into granite, stone tablets that tell a little piece of our story, our beliefs, our civilization, could survive. They could last until some distant future rediscovers it and learns a bit about who we were and what we thought was important. Out of all the texts that we have, why carve the Bible? Well, when you look at all the ways that the Bible has had an impact on Western civilization, it's hard to find another text that has had such broad and lasting impact. It's been there at the roots of our religious beliefs, moral values, legal systems, art. For instance, the idea that all people are created in the image of God is at the foundation of individual rights and our belief in human dignity. The Bible's stories and imagery have inspired centuries of Western art. Think about the creation of Adam in Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, or in literature. Themes of sacrifice and redemption appear in everything from Shakespeare's plays to the novels of Dostoevsky. So, in terms of influence, it would be very easy to argue that the Bible is one of the most influential, if not the most influential, text shaping Western civilization. So, I think that it deserves a more durable medium than paper. The second answer to why I'm carving the Bible is shorter but possibly more accurate. I simply feel compelled to do it. I'm not a very religious person. In fact, I'm not really religious at all. I'm culturally Christian, but I don't practice. So religion is not it. I feel the need to do it, so I'm doing it. But I also know enough to realize that I can't do it by myself. And that's one of the reasons that I'm making these videos. The videos on this channel are just reflections on what I'm carving on each tablet. Because it takes time to do the work and it's rather slow, I notice things that I haven't noticed before. Things that I normally would read right over. Now, I'm not a Bible expert. Maybe in the future I'll speak with some Bible experts. But for now, I hope that you find the things that I notice interesting. So here's where you come in. If you're interested in helping with this project, for whatever reasons, religious or not, there is a way that you can support it beyond watching the videos. I've set up an account for donations and you can find the link in the description below. If you want to contribute, any amount helps, especially with buying supplies, because things like granite and diamond bits are very expensive and allows me more time to work on the project. So follow this channel, stick around, see how the project unfolds. If you're still watching this, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope you'll join me on this journey.